Temperatures in many parts of the country have remained below 30 degrees with sporadic rainfall. However, Europe and the US have been bracing heat waves in the past few days, and it's likely to extend till the next week. Neighboring India and China has also struggled with floods, and the World Meteorological Society has reiterated that the extreme weather patterns highlights the need for more climate action. Good evening, I'm Sarah Sapsanama. Let's begin with the headlines of the hour. Nepali Congress General Secretary Thapa presents the annual calendar at the party's Central Committee meeting. The meeting to continue tomorrow. A date for policy convention awaited. The pace of Kathmandu fast-track project sluggish with less than 25% progress achieved so far. Nepal Army claims to complete the project in the next 3 years. Provinces fail to make full use of their budget. Koshi spends the high 78% of its budget. Madhya province limited to less than 54%. And Nepal's preparation for the upcoming Asian Games likely to be affected as just around 210 million rupees budget met out of the 240 million required. Annual calendar has been presented at the Central Committee meeting of Nepali Congress, which has been held after almost 1 year. The meeting is delving into reports of several committees of the party, along with the performance of the party and the parliament from the government. After General Secretary Bishwa Prakash Sharma presented the agenda of the meeting, another General Secretary Gagan Thapa presented the annual calendar today. The calendar presented by Thapa has included topics including membership campaign of the party and the proposal to increase party departments from 48 to 70. A proposal has also been made to hold the Central Committee meeting every 2 months as provisioned by the party's statute. General Secretary Thapa's proposal includes increasing new 500,000 members to 700,000 each year. Out of the 24 projects listed as the National Pride projects, Melamchi Drinking Water, Gautam Buddha and Pokhara International Airports have been completed. The progress of remaining 21 projects are, however, dismal. This includes the works of Kathmandu Fast Track, considered a game changer for the country's economic progress, which has been assigned to the Nepal Army. It is not satisfactory so far. The fast track, based on its schedule, should complete within this year. However, progress has been limited to 25%. The government had made a decision of giving the responsibility of the construction of the Kathmandu fast track to Nepal Army in the Nepalese year 2074. The fast track that extends from Kokana in Lalitpur to Nijgarh in Bara has to be completed with the ongoing fiscal year. However, the deadline has now been extended by 3 more years. The cost of the project, which was initially estimated at 175 billion rupees, has reached 213 billion. It took almost 1.5 years for the government to clear the detailed project report of the project. Currently, the Nepal Army has contracted various vendors to construct 3 tunnels and 87 bridges for the fast track. Excavation of just around 1,823 meters out of the total 6,415 meters of tunnel has been done so far, while works concerned with 45 bridges is currently underway. In the meantime, only 49 billion rupees have been spent for the project so far, as the government has been issuing an annual budget of 30 billion rupees. Transportation of goods from Tarai to Kathmandu is expected to be faster by 4 hours following the completion of the project, which is estimated to help the state save 50 billion rupees annually. 2 major generals have been changed since the Nepal Army soldiered the responsibility. The delay in construction of the fast track has been attributed to political disputes and lack of allocation of sufficient budget. Minister for Physical Infrastructure and Transport Prakash Jala has said that the construction works of Thankot-Nagdhunga Tunnelway will be completed within a year's time. Jala, who had reached Thankot earlier today to inspect the progress of the project, said that only 32 meters of the tunnel remains to be constructed and that construction works have been expedited to ensure operation of vehicles through the tunnel within a year. The minister has termed the progress of the project satisfactory. The tunnelway is being constructed with the concessional loan of 16 billion rupees from Japan and an investment of 7 billion rupees from the government. The tunnelway, which is of 2.68 kilometers, includes 2 tunnels, main tunnel, which is of 9 meters in width, and rescue tunnel, which is of 4 meters. 60% of the construction of the tunnelway has already completed. The project had begun in year 2019. The divorce rate in the country has gone up by almost 5 times in the past 10 years. Around 37,434 divorce cases were recorded in the annual report of the Supreme Court for the Nepalese year 2078-79, as opposed to 7,704 a decade back. Some of the top reasons for divorces, experts say, are violence against women, disparities in law, and extramarital affairs, among others. In the Nepalese year 2077-78, a total of 27,425 divorce cases were reported across all courts in the country. District courts received the highest number of divorce cases. Likewise, based on latest figures in the report by Supreme Court, the judicial system has received 35,699 cases of property settlement and 31,339 of property transaction. District Court in Bagmati and High Court has witnessed the highest number of cases. Madhya province topped the list of provinces that settled the most cases in the fiscal year 2078-79, handing out verdicts in 26.80% of the 97,291 cases it received. Bagmati managed to settle 26.43% of the 77,681 cases it received. With regards to the cases that are still pending, the Supreme Court has said the inadequate human resource and the lack of financial autonomy, among others, have slowed the process of justice delivery. Meanwhile, Supreme Court Justice Til Prasad Shrestha topped the list of justices in the number of cases settled, with 765 cases in 75 working days. However, the scenario of the implementation of verdicts handed out by courts have remained weak, as only 27.57% court decisions were implemented in the last fiscal. Likewise, only 59 of the 214 mandamus and directives issued by the Supreme Court and just around 1/4 of the decision by courts at all 3 tiers have been implemented so far. Budget expenditure of all 7 provinces are in a sorry state, similar to that of the federal government. Of the total budget, Madhya province has spent 57.36%, with 51.86% in current expenditure and 61.72% in capital expenditure. Capital expenditure has increased by 0.81%, while current expenditure has reduced by 15.53% in Madhya province. The scenario is not satisfactory in Lumbini as well, as it has spent 71.7% in the past fiscal year. Of the total budget of 42.63 billion rupees, only 30.57 billion rupees has been spent in Lumbini. This is only 1% higher than previous fiscal year. Failure to ensure timely completion of projects has limited budget expenditure to 67% in Bagmati, 66% in Gandaki, 67% in Karnali and 69% in Sudur Paschim. Among the provinces, Koshi has spent the highest of 78.64%. Koshi province has spent 18.13 billion in capital expenditure and 12.8 billion rupees in current expenditure. Impact of such failure in ensuring timely expenditure of budget has been seen in financial good governance, transparency and development works. In this context, in our Public Voice segment, today we've asked in several provinces, why have provinces struggled to implement the budget? Let's take a look at what they had to say.
Public Voice.
सरकार स्थायी नहुनु
एकलौटी ढंगले बजेट निर्माण गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ बजेट कार्यान्वयन हुन नसकेको
सरकार आफू कसरी टिक्ने भन्ने कुरामा चाहिँ बढी केन्द्रित हुँदाखेरि विनियोजित भएका बजेटहरू कार्यान्वयन हुन सकेको छैन।
स्थानीय सरकार र केन्द्रीय सरकारसँग पनि समन्वय नभइकन बजेटहरू विनियोजन गर्दा
मुलुकको अस्थिर राजनीति नै सबैभन्दा बढी कारक तत्व हो।
जति पनि मान्यज्यूहरू हुन्छ उहाँहरू जनताप्रति भन्दा पनि आफ्नो पार्टीका कार्यकर्ता आसेपासेप्रति बढी वफादार भएको हुनाले
आपसी द्वन्द्व चिरेर बजेटलाई सदुपयोग गर्नतिर लाग्नुपर्छ।
काम गर्ने वातावरण छैन यहाँ।
उनीहरूले चाहिँ हसुवा र सेटिङको भरमा बजेट विनियोजन गर्छन्।
कार्यकर्तामुखी नेतामुखी बजेट लिएर गएर ती त्यस्ता ठाउँमा खन्याउनाले
एकैचोटि अन्तिममा खर्च गर्न खोज्दाखेरि कार्यान्वयन कठिनाइ भइरहेको।
संघीय सरकारले प्रदेश सरकारको जो दूरी छ त्यो दूरी बीचको चाहिँ असमानताको कारणले
जनताको भावना नबुझेर
प्रदेशले नीति तथा कार्यक्रम तथा बजेट बनाउँदाखेरि पारदर्शी रूपमा बनाएन।
कार्यकर्ताले पोषिने खालको बजेट बनाउँछन्।
कता कमिसन छ, कता के गर्नुपर्छ, कता मिलान गर्नुपर्छ, त्यता ध्यान नहुन्छ अनि बजेट लगानीमा बेलामा नहुने।
नेताहरू अब व्यक्तिगत स्वार्थमा रुमलिएका अनि नीतिगत अस्पष्टता,
ढिलो चाहिँ टेन्डर खुलाउने प्रक्रियाबाट ढिलो जाने,
प्रक्रियागत समस्याको कारणले
सबैलाई अलिअलि घुस खुवाउने यताउता भनेर पैसा चाहिँ दिनुपर्छ भन्छन्, कमिसन लिन खोज्छन् आफूले पनि भित्रभित्रै।
यो सम्बन्धी कानुनहरू चाहिँ नि संघले बनाएर चाहिँ नदिनु, अधिकार नदिनु।
यिनीहरूको आपसमै भागभण्डामा सहमति नमिलेर
Government initiatives of raising access to technical education has failed to raise the attraction towards the stream as the number of students in universities is on a decline. The Agriculture and Forest Science University in Chitwan, for instance, that has granted affiliation to 9 campuses, failed to receive a single enrollment this year for graduate level. The Himchaya campus in Gaidakot of Nawalparasi that was established 8 years ago failed to receive a single application for its agriculture studies, while only 4 enrolled for forestry studies. Last year, 25 had enrolled in the forestry study. This has left the entity's existence into question. The scenario is similar for other campuses with livestock and veterinary subjects. Of the quota of 1,000 students, the campuses have seen enrollment of just around 456 students. Furthermore, 20% of the students on average tend to leave mid-session. University officials say political activities like padlocking campuses, lack of qualified teachers and the lack of guarantee of jobs after the degree has reduced the number of students. Other universities like Pokhara and Purvanchal have also reported of reduced number of students in agriculture and forestry. Elsewhere, 50% of the seats at CTVT are vacant. Experts opine the fees and the uncertainty of job prospects are few reasons for the scenario. Meanwhile, 110,000 youths have left the country for studying abroad so far this year. It's time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
But before today's question, let's take a look at the results from yesterday's poll. Yesterday, we asked you which entity must be more responsible for budget implementation. 54% voted for option A, political leadership, 29% for B, administrative mechanism, and 17% for C, public monitoring. And here's today's question. Why has the attraction towards the study of agriculture education reduced in an agricultural country? Your options are A, expensive, B, lack of employment opportunities, and C, no understanding of significance. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. A heat wave is continuing across southern Europe with temperatures in the central Mediterranean expected to peak today. The Italian island of Sardinia is expected to see a high of 46 degrees Celsius. There are warnings extreme heat could continue for a further 10 days in parts of Italy. Spain has also faced consecutive heat waves, with temperatures yesterday reaching 44 degrees Celsius in the south of the country. There have been wildfires on the Spanish island of La Palma and in mainland Greece. Meanwhile, in the U.S. at midnight last night, the temperature at a weather station in Death Valley, California, was still 49 degrees Celsius. The World Meteorological Society has said extreme weather patterns highlight the need for more climate action. Elsewhere, a heat wave in the Gaza Strip that has sent temperatures over 38 degrees Celsius has worsened power shortages and sparked discontent among residents who expressed frustration with the ruling Islamist Hamas group. More than 2.3 million people live in a narrow strip of land squeezed between Egypt and Israel, suffering power cuts for up to 12 hours a day. Railway stations across China's southwestern municipality of Chongqing have set up 127 cooling shelters to combat the intense summer heat. Most of the cooling shelters are equipped with air conditioning, free water and even medicine to combat heat stroke. Temperatures in Chongqing have hit as high as 37 degrees Celsius in recent days and are expected to rise in the coming weeks. A U.S. soldier is being held in North Korea after crossing the border without authorization. The soldier was being escorted back to the U.S. for disciplinary reasons before they turned around at the airport and joined a border tour. 7 decades have passed since the armistice agreement of 1953 put a halt to the Korean War. However, U.S. still maintains a large presence in the area. There are reportedly 28,000 American troops stationed in South Korea, making it America's third largest foreign military presence after Japan and Germany, based on a report by Reuters from 2021. South Korea is also home to the largest U.S. overseas military base. The U.S. Army there works closely with the South Korean military as part of a security alliance that was forged ever since the U.S. entered the Korean War in 1950. The armistice brought fighting between the North and the South to an end. However, a treaty to end the conflict was never struck.
Sports news.
The 19th edition of the Asian Games is scheduled to begin in Hangzhou of China from the 23rd of September. Nepal have yet to win a gold medal at the Continental Sports mega event, while the major weakness this time has been considered lack of quality training like in the past editions. The National Sports Council, which had demanded 240 million rupees to prepare for the Asian Games, had received the commitment of only 210 million rupees from the government. Nepal will be represented in 29 sports competitions at the Asian Games. The National Sports Council has prioritized boxing, taekwondo and karate as high medal probability games. Despite selecting 23 sports in the first phase as those with medal possibilities, 6 more were included later. Despite the increase in the number of sports, budget for preparations and participation has reduced. The National Sports Council had demanded 240 million rupees for closed camp training and participation. However, only 210 million rupees has been secured. The National Sports Council had provided current expenditure amount until the mid of July. However, the details of expenses have yet to be made public. The Ministry of Youth and Sports has said that number of participating athletes could be reduced if the budget was inadequate. Around 300 million rupees is expected to be the cost of participation at the Asian Games. However, considering the sorry state of the national economy, the Ministry of Finance has said that it could not provide the demanded budget. Participation of 225 athletes, 53 coaches and 30 managers for 29 sports has been confirmed so far. Except for the athletes with international commitments, all those to participate at the Games are preparing in Nepal. That is all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Good night.